Hello friends, this video is regarding a very important and talk about subject which is the licentiate regulations, foreign medical graduate licentiate regulation 2021, and it is specific clause 4B, which is regarding the practice of medicine in the country where our foreign medical graduates are taking their degrees. And there have been different inferences, different conclusions, and different discussions being taken place and being offered about this particular clause. And everybody says and everybody asks a particular question: is that country giving a license to practice so that it becomes valid for practice in India? Is that country giving a license to practice? But do we really think that it is regarding license to practice? Maybe there are some different provisions or different systems or different procedures being followed in other countries which are equivalent to license to practice, which may not be called license to practice. Okay, so we have to see, for example, if a student wants to practice medicine in US, he has to clear medical USMLE exam, US medical licensing exam he has to clear. If that student wants to practice medicine in UK, then he is supposed to clear USMLA, right? Because it was PLAB previously, but now it is USMLA. If he wants to practice medicine in Germany, then he has to clear exam called KP. It's a very long name, I cannot pronounce it in German, but in short we call it KP. But in India, if you want to practice a medicine, an Indian graduate, he has no exam. But does that make it any difference? All these students are the registered medical practitioners in their respective countries. So the system can be different, but the logic of the law, of the philosophy of the law is same. So we have to go by the philosophy of the law, what it says exactly. Now the question comes about the license. What exactly is the meaning of license? So I have done some homework about this and I have gone through some definitions. First of all, let us see what Oxford Dictionary says about license. It says it's a permit from an authority, permit from an authority to own or use something or to do something. It's a permission to do something, right? License. Then if we refer to the Cambridge Dictionary, it says it's an official document. Now it says official document that gives permission to own or use something. It is adding official document. Then we refer to Webster Dictionary, Merriam-Webster Dictionary, and it gives a very clear definition about the license. It says it's a permission granted by a competent authority to engage in a business or occupation. Very clear definition of license. So license means it's a permission to do something. Okay, so it doesn't mean that a nomenclature of license to be used. For a very long time, our discussions have been hanging around, right to practice medicine, license for medicine, permission for medicine, registered for doing medical practice, or work permit, different phrases. Different nomenclatures are being used, and students are getting confused, parents are getting confused, consultants are getting confused, which is right, which is wrong. So we have done some homework to bring clarity into this so that things are very clear and there is no confusion at all. First of all, let us see what basically difference in right and license is. Okay. People are saying, I have seen some videos, I have seen some, discussions and in the groups of consultants and some phone calls coming to me, and they are saying that, sir, right is different than license. Okay, at different places, they have different meanings. Right is like, it's a broader legal concept. People are saying, I have bought a motorcycle, so I have a right to drive, but I don't have a license, so I cannot drive. So right is different. And license is different. I have purchased the pistol, I have a right to fire, but I don't have a license, so I cannot fire. No. Buying a pistol does not give you a right to fire. And buying a motorcycle does not give you a right to ride on the motorcycle on the road. Now we have to understand the basic difference as per the definition of right and license. The right is a broader legal concept which is regarding entitlement and permission to do. It's a broader concept, but it is also about the entitlement and permission to do something. And what is license? License gives some conditions to the right to do that thing. It will give you a process or procedure to be followed. It will attach some conditions to it. It will give a duration for that one, something like this, some condition to it. But it is a specific concept about the permission, and right is a broader concept of the permission. So we cannot separate these two. So I think I am making this very clear to you. So we have done a definition of license. Now we have discussed about the right and license, the difference and their connection between the two. Now what our laws are saying. Okay, let us go to our laws. What our basic laws are saying. So first of all, our basic instrument of today's discussion is Foreign Medical Licentiate Regulations 2021 and specifically Clause 4B. Clause 4B says the graduate should be registered with the respective professional regulatory body. Now I'm just emphasizing and underlining the word registered. Registered with the respective professional regulatory body, otherwise competent to grant a license to practice medicine in their respective jurisdiction of the country. It means wherever the student is studying in that country, the regulatory body which is competent to grant license, the permission to work, he should be registered with that licensing professional regulatory body. And then the medical degree is at par with the license to practice, is at par with the license to practice medicine given to the citizen of that country. So it has to be at par. It has to be same which students are receiving at par with the license. So it can be or cannot be a license, can be called or cannot be called a license. Okay, but it should be at par with the license. Now after this, there was a frequently asked questions released by NMC, and here we go. We will refer to that also. Let us go to the question 9. It was about the FMGs covered in NMC regulations, licensing regulations 2021. It is on the website of NMC also. And question number 9. What is the question? Question says, do FMG need to be registered in the country which awards them the degree? Now the question has also been framed by NMC, and the question number 9 says, do FMG need to be registered in the country which awards them the degree? Answer is yes. FMGs need to be registered with the respective professional regulatory body, and then ... It goes again saying the same thing. It means they're using the word registered. Okay. And after that, there was a circular issued about guidelines for registration of foreign medical graduates. Okay. Guidelines for registration of foreign medical graduates. Point number 6 and subpoint 1. Subpoint 1, point number 6. Here also it says, state medical councils should ensure the following conditions / criteria while processing the case for grant of registration to foreign medical graduates. Number 1, the medical qualification / degree must be registrable to practice. Now this is not the word registered. Must be registrable to practice medicine in their respective jurisdiction of the country, and then again at par with the license to practice in the country. So they are talking about it has to be at par with the license to practice, and it has to be registrable or registered. Okay, and it has to be at par. It means it should have a permission to work in that country, and it has to be registered with the regulatory body of that country. Right? So it does not necessarily to be called as license, because in different countries, different terminologies, different nomenclatures, different processes are being used. Okay, so we should not confuse ourselves. And now to add further to this, we did some more research, and then there are two Supreme Court judgments who are referring to this particular clause 4B. Two Supreme Court judgments. One was on April 24, 2022. It is the National Medical Commission versus Pooja, Thandu, Naresh and others. Okay. So very quickly, we'll just go to the specific page number 9 of the judgment. And it is point number 9 of the judgment. And it says in 6.1, again, the same thing. It is referring to the same circular about guidelines for registration of foreign medical graduates, which says again, the medical qualification of / degree must be registrable to practice medicine in the respective jurisdiction of the country. It is a Supreme Court judgment which is referring to the same wordings of the circular 4th March 2022. So here everywhere they are using the word registered or registrable. And then there is another Supreme Court judgment, May 2nd, 2022, Arvind R.A. versus the Secretary of the Government of India, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Here, point number 54. Here it does not specifically says anything about the right to practice, does not say anything about the license to practice, no registrable registration. It says, it gives a basic philosophy of this clause 4B. It gives a justification of this clause 4B, which makes things very clear for us. It says, Similarly, the requirements under Regulation 4B has been necessitated to ensure that the students who were imparted medical education in the foreign country demonstrate their skill first on the population of that country. Means the students who are graduating in a particular country, that country should allow them to work and practice them on their own patients so that they should know how they have trained them, these international students with them. And the necessity for a master chef, on a lighter note, the Supreme Court says, the necessity for a master chef to taste the food prepared by him before it is served to the guests. It means that whatever the food master chef, a cook is preparing, he should taste first before offering to the guests. It means it is talking about that they should be allowed to work. I'm using the word they should be allowed to work in the legal framework of that country, to practice medicine and to allow to work in their hospitals, allowed to work as a practitioner, medical practitioner in a particular country. So I hope I am making things clear by our own law, by the frequently asked questions, by the circular dated 4th March 2022, by these two Supreme Court judgments, that they are not asking that there should be an instrument called a license. I'm not saying that there should not be any instrument. I'm not saying that license is not required. I'm not saying that there has not be any permission or no permit or right without any backing of any document, because the word registered is there. When you are registering something, then there is a document which registers. Okay, but it can be called in some different nomenclatures. There can be some different names for that, but it has to be registered. Okay, registered to practice medicine in that country. Now, let us come back to the specific concept of Uzbekistan, because there was a lot of talk about an advisory of Embassy of India, Tashkent, which says that the graduate of the country, who graduate with the 6-year general practitioner degree, have right to practice medicine in the country, and then right to practice, license to practice. There were different conclusions, inferences, and a lot of discussion about that. I think from these backings, these supports, and these logics, we have made it very clear that it should be a permission to work in that country on the basis of the registration of the student who has graduated from the country. He should be registered with the regulatory body, and he should be allowed to practice in the country as a general practitioner or as a doctor. Clear? So now we come back to our laws of Uzbekistan, what the laws of Uzbekistan say. So there are two laws of Republic of Uzbekistan which will help us to solve this puzzle, or which will help us to conclude this discussion. First of all, let us talk about the law on education. Okay, as per the law of the Republic of Uzbekistan number LRU 637 dated 23/9/2020 on education. Okay, on education. This is law on education. Article 40 says a state recognized educational document. State recognized educational document, which means the degree or diploma you can call, as well as the educational document issued by non-state educational organization and recognized by the Republic of Uzbekistan, give the right to continue education at the next level. It means the student can do masters, student can do PhD, or right to work in the relevant profession and specialty. It means the degree, the student when they complete degree from a recognized educational institution, that document gives him a right to work in the relevant profession, in the profession where he has taken that, in which he has taken that degree. Now, let us talk about the specific thing which will make everything very clear. It is a law of Republic of Uzbekistan number 265-I of 29th August 1996 on protection of citizens' health. It is talking about the medicine. Article 41 very clearly mentions, I'm giving you the English translation, individuals who have received a diploma on completion of a higher or secondary specialized medical school have a right to practice medicine and pharmaceuticals in the Republic of Uzbekistan. So this law makes it very clear the student who are graduating by taking a 6-year general practitioner degree from the accredited medical school of Uzbekistan have a right to practice medicine in the Republic of Uzbekistan. And the same wording has been used by our Honorable Embassy of India, Tashkent, in their advisory they have issued, that the students have right to practice medicine in the country. So I think with this, we have a backing of the law. And now, which is the instrument which is regulating this? Because if you are registered, there has to be a document which registers you. Now, let us come to the degree. The degree which is being awarded to the students mentions a registration number. With that registration number, the student is registered with the Ministry of Health, and that degree has a supplement, and that supplement number 5.2 of that supplement clearly mentioned, means it's a document which law is different. Then the student should have a document which is a registration document, and it should give him a right to practice. So the degree has a supplement where the 5.2 clearly says that this diploma gives the right to carry out professional activity within bracket employment according to the law of education and qualification by this specialty. And the specialty is general medicine. It means this degree, which is registered with the Ministry of Health with that particular registration number, gives him the right to carry out the employment according to the level of his specialty, that is general medicine. So I think with this backing, with all the laws which we discussed, with all the inferences which we have taken out from various judgments and from the laws of Uzbekistan, laws of India, and then degree and its supplement, we can very fairly conclude that the student who is graduating from Republic of Uzbekistan in the field of general medicine has a right to practice, which is which can be used as a license to practice or his permission to practice medicine, which our country requires. Because I have already mentioned that it is not a particular word which we are going about, it is about the philosophy of the law which we should talk about. So this particular degree gives him becomes a document which gives him a permission to practice medicine in the Republic of Uzbekistan. So things are very clear. For any further clarification, these are my inferences. If there are any questions, we can freely talk about in future. People can contact me, they can talk to us, and they can discuss about it. But we have worked very hard and we have done a lot of documentation to come to this conclusion. So to conclude, the 6-year general practitioner degree with a specialty in general medicine of Uzbekistan, received from a state recognized institution of Uzbekistan, gives a student right to practice or work or do employment in the field of general medicine in the Republic of Uzbekistan. Thank you very much.